Hi everyone, I'm Cristie Vito. It's an honor to be here today with my dazzle. I live with hEDS and have survived life-threatening complications, including an emergency ileostomy surgery to remove my entire colon. But the deeper journey has been in finding my voice, not just as a patient, but as a person. I'm also the author of Bless the Meds, a book on alternative pain management and mindfulness techniques for chronic illness warriors, because like so many of us, I had to figure out a way to cope and thrive in a body that doesn't follow the rules. Today, I want to share the 3 parts of that journey: finding my inner voice, learning to communicate with others, connecting with this community where I found power in shared advocacy. For years, my inner voice was distorted by gaslighting, medical trauma, and internalized ableism. Even after my first diagnosis, I questioned if I was sick enough to deserve help. Using a disability parking pass or mobility aid brought shame until I reframed it. Today, I see those tools as part of my warrior gear. Living with EDS means dealing with pain, unpredictability, and complex emotions: grief, guilt, fear. I learned that real resilience isn't about pretending that everything is okay. It's about being honest with yourself, feeling it all, and moving through it without judgment. In therapy, I learned the tea kettle metaphor. If you don't release steam, you eventually explode. That's what unprocessed emotions do in our bodies. Letting myself feel allowed me to know myself deeply, my limits, my needs, my triggers, and that gave me inner strength. You are allowed to feel. You're allowed to make life easier. That is not weakness, that's wisdom. Healing also meant transforming how I spoke to myself. Toxic positivity, messages like just stay positive or at least it's not cancer, can actually deepen suffering by invalidating our reality. At one point, I even wished I had something like cancer that people understood just to feel seen. But the truth is, I live with a rare and misunderstood genetic condition that affects every part of my body. That's not negativity, it's reality. Owning that truth gave me power. One mindset practice that helped me was this. Whenever I caught a harmful thought, like I'm too much or I'm a burden, I'd say cancel, cancel, and replace it with something kinder, even if it felt like a stretch at first. Your internal dialogue sets the tone for everything else: your relationships, your care, your ability to advocate. The most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. Treat it with compassion. In dialectical behavior therapy, I learned something that helped change my perspective. 2 truths can exist at the same time, even when they seem to be at odds with each other. I can live with daily pain and still experience joy. I can grieve what I've lost and be proud of what I've built. I can be disabled and strong. 5 years ago, I was at my lowest point, hospitalized, preparing for emergency surgery, completely alone during the early months of COVID. The surgeon had never operated on someone with EDS, and there were many unknowns. What got me through wasn't just hope. It was the ability to stay present. Through mindfulness, journaling, and somatic practices, I found moments of calm. I didn't deny my fear. I sat with it and created space for something else to come through. Recovery was long. I had 3 more surgeries in 2 years, but learning to process my emotions, rest without guilt, and honor my pace helped my body to begin to stabilize. For the past year, I've been living dreams I once thought impossible, writing and publishing my first book, traveling, falling in love, and being here on stage with you today. Once I knew myself, I could start explaining my reality to others. That wasn't easy. I started by sharing articles with my family, especially my mom, and eventually that opened a door. The last time I was here in Toronto was in 2019 when I had my assessment at the EDS clinic. I was just learning to speak outwardly about what I was experiencing, and she was the first to listen. She started to recognize my symptoms before I even had to say anything. She nursed me through every recovery, and today she's here with me, full circle. I'm very grateful for all of her support and that I get to share this moment on stage with her. Not everyone responded with compassion. Some people disappeared. Actually, many people disappeared. Others questioned how I could still be sick. I've learned that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-respect. My energy is precious. I choose to spend it with people who show up and try to understand. The hardest place to find your voice, a doctor's office. I wasn't diagnosed with EDS until I was 38. By then, I'd spent decades being dismissed and gaslit. The Canadian system is slow and fragmented, so even when you do everything right, it can still take years to get proper care. Before my surgery, I had begged surgeons for help for many years, but they wouldn't listen until it became an emergency. I've learned that it's okay to disagree with doctors, respectfully, but firmly. And the more I processed my emotions beforehand, the clearer and calmer I could be in those moments. I stopped apologizing for my body's complexity and started presenting information with confidence. Tracking symptoms, understanding my patterns, and trusting my instincts saved my life more than once. Let's be honest, pain scales don't work for us. Most of us live between a 6 and an 8 as our baseline, and we're still smiling, still functioning. We've had to become medical translators. What helped me most was using descriptive language, how the pain feels, what's different, what I've tried, what makes it worse. You are the expert on your own body. And when you have done the emotional work, you can walk into these appointments grounded, not reactive. That's when they listen. That's when real conversations begin. And finally, my dazzle, you. The first time I felt truly seen was when I found the EDS community. You changed everything. Here, we normalize rest, we raise awareness, we demand better care. We share resources, humor, tears, and strength. In community, I stopped feeling like a medical mystery. I felt human, whole, powerful. This journey from the quiet internal voice to the brave shared voice isn't easy. It takes honesty, practice, and patience. But when we find it, we change how we care for ourselves. We change how others understand us. We change the world we're a part of. So to everyone here, you matter. Your voice matters. You are not alone. Thank you for letting me share this space and this moment with you. Thank you for being a part of this dazzle. Let's keep rising together. Let's keep speaking inside, outside, and all around the world. You can connect with me at cristievito.com. I'd love to hear your story too. Thank you.